Benjamin is a journalist and a single father who has been raising his two children alone ever since his wife passed away. His children are named Dylan and Rosie. With no one else to share the responsibility, Benjamin struggles to balance his work life with caring for his kids. After dropping the children off at school one morning, he runs into his older brother. During their conversation, his brother encourages him to start seeing another woman, knowing how difficult it is for Benjamin to raise Dylan and Rosie on his own. But Benjamin refuses. He still deeply loves his late wife and has not been able to let her go. Later that day, Benjamin goes to the office where he is told that he will be transferred to a marketing position and required to work indoors. Hearing this, he immediately refuses. He prefers working in the field rather than sitting behind a desk all day. Because of that, Benjamin makes the sudden decision to quit his job altogether. Not long after, he is called to Dylan's school. The principal explains that Dylan has been caught stealing money from a classmate. She also mentions that Dylan's recent behavior has been unusual, especially during art class. While other children draw cheerful pictures, Dylan creates dark and unsettling images. Although Benjamin secretly admires his son's creativity, the school considers his work inappropriate. In the end, Benjamin is forced to promise that Dylan will follow the school's rules and expectations. Unfortunately, the school has already made its decision and chooses to expel him. That night, Benjamin quietly enters Dylan's room while his son is asleep. He finds Dylan's sketchbook filled with drawings and realizes that his son actually has a hidden talent. In that moment, Benjamin understands that he needs to guide Dylan more carefully and support him better as a father. Before going to sleep, Benjamin keeps thinking about how he can make his children happy despite the absence of their mother. Suddenly, Rosie wakes up, disturbed by loud noises from their neighbors, who often throw late-night parties. Feeling overwhelmed, Benjamin begins to think that moving to a new place might give his children a calmer and happier life. The next day, Benjamin and Rosie begin searching for a new house with the help of a real estate agent. They visit several properties, and Benjamin explains that he wants a place with a large yard so his family can live peacefully without noisy neighbors. After an entire day of searching, none of the houses feel right. Then Rosie shows him a brochure featuring a house that looks exactly like what he has been imagining. Intrigued, Benjamin asks the agent to take them there. The moment he arrives, he instantly falls in love with the place and says he is willing to buy it no matter the price. Strangely, the agent seems hesitant and almost tries to discourage him from buying it. As Benjamin explores the house further, he becomes even more convinced. Suddenly, he hears a strange sound.
There's complications to it, Mr. Me.
When he asks where it is coming from, the agent explains that the house is actually part of a zoo. If Benjamin truly wants to buy it, he would also need to take care of all the animals living there. After leaving the property, Benjamin feels unsure and conflicted. He has never cared for animals before, even though he loves adventure and new challenges. Deep down, he is not certain if this decision is the right one. But then he sees Rosie smiling brightly as she happily plays with the animals. It is a kind of joy he has not seen in her since her mother passed away. Without overthinking it, Benjamin finally decides to buy the zoo. This is where everything begins. This is We Bought a Zoo. Later, he visits his brother to tell him that he has used his share of the family inheritance to purchase the zoo. His brother is shocked and believes Benjamin has lost his mind for buying a bankrupt zoo. Benjamin explains that if the business runs well and reopens successfully, it could bring in great profit. But deep down, that is not his real reason. All he truly wants is to make his children happy. The next day, they pack their belongings and prepare to move into their new home. When they arrive, they meet the 5 staff members who work at the zoo. There is Kelly, the head caretaker, Robin the gardener, Peter the cleaner, Rhonda, who handles administration, and Lily, a 13-year-old who helps care for the animals. After getting to know each other, Benjamin, Rosie, and Dylan begin exploring the zoo. Kelly explains that the tiger they saw earlier is the oldest animal there. His name is Spark. She also reveals that Spark is seriously ill, and his age has only made his condition worse. Benjamin asks how much it would cost to bring in a veterinarian, but Kelly gently suggests that it may not be worth it, since Spark is not expected to live much longer. As they walk, Kelly still cannot fully understand why someone with no experience caring for animals would buy a bankrupt zoo at such a high price. The next day, Benjamin officially begins his work as the owner of the zoo. Meanwhile, Dylan is surprised when Lily suddenly shows up to bring him food. It turns out she has liked him from the beginning, and Dylan feels the same, even though he tries to hide it. Day by day, the family continues managing the zoo together. That afternoon, Benjamin becomes overwhelmed as bills start piling up, from food costs to repairs that need immediate attention. At the same time, Dylan grows closer to Lily, who visits him regularly after work. In those moments, Dylan begins to feel happy again. That night, after all the work is done, Kelly asks Benjamin for help giving medicine to Sparrow and turning off the lights in the storage area. She also warns him to be careful because there is a box inside that contains snakes. Benjamin and Rosie head to Sparrow's enclosure to give the medicine, while Dylan is asked to turn off the lights in the storage room. When Dylan reaches the storage room, his curiosity gets the better of him, and he opens the box. Inside, he finds countless snakes. Panicking, he runs away without closing it properly. The next morning, Benjamin wakes up to a shocking sight. Snakes are scattered all around the house. Realizing what happened, he immediately calls Kelly for help. As they work together to catch the snakes, Benjamin keeps scolding Dylan for not closing the box the night before. Feeling embarrassed and upset after being scolded in front of everyone, Dylan walks away on his own. Later that day, everyone gathers because an inspector is scheduled to arrive. His name is Ferris, and his job is to evaluate whether the zoo is fit to open or not. If it passes inspection, the permit will be granted. If not, the zoo will be forced to remain closed. After inspecting the animal enclosures and overall conditions, Ferris gives Benjamin several notes before leaving. The issues range from fence height and safety distances to the overall health of the animals. Once Ferris leaves, Benjamin asks the team to calculate how much it would cost to fix everything. When the numbers come in, the total reaches around $50,000 to $100,000, leaving Benjamin deeply stressed. The next day, while Benjamin is driving Dylan somewhere, they suddenly spot Buster, the zoo's bear, wandering freely through a residential area. Panicked, everyone rushes to contain him. Eventually, Buster is safely restrained. In that moment, Benjamin realizes that he must renovate the enclosures as soon as possible so the animals, especially Buster, can live more comfortably and safely. That evening, Benjamin gathers with the other zoo staff at the main hall inside the zoo. Surrounded by their warmth and support, his exhaustion slowly fades and he begins to feel like he has found a new family. Even so, his thoughts remain heavy as he continues to worry about how to get the zoo ready to open. Later that night, as Benjamin prepares to go to bed, he finds a piece of paper tucked inside his jacket pocket. It turns out to be a letter left behind by his late wife before she passed away. The following day, all the zoo staff gather once again. They discuss the financial situation and realize that the remaining funds are dangerously low. In fact, there is a strong chance the zoo will not survive long enough to reach its opening day. On the other side of town, Benjamin goes to meet his brother and shows him the letter left behind by his wife. When they read it, they discover that it contains her savings, a total of $84,000 she had quietly set aside. In the letter, she tells Benjamin to follow his heart and not to listen to his brother, even though his brother is standing right in front of him at that moment.
Those are your circus money.
Circus money, yeah.
Listen to your heart, not your brother.
I know, I read that.
After withdrawing the money, Benjamin and his brother head straight to the zoo. There, he tells the entire staff that he now has enough funds to support the zoo until opening day. Hearing this, everyone feels relieved and overjoyed, knowing the zoo still has a chance to survive. A few days later, while Benjamin is shopping with Rosie at a supermarket, a cashier suddenly recognizes him as the owner of the zoo she used to visit with her family. She excitedly says that she will definitely come with her whole family on opening day. Hearing this fills Benjamin with new motivation to reopen the zoo and bring happiness back to the community. After returning home, Benjamin fixes the broken light in Spark's enclosure. While there, he notices that Spark refuses to eat. He realizes that Spark's condition is getting worse. Desperate, Benjamin keeps trying to encourage him to eat. At that moment, he notices Kelly watching from a distance. Benjamin walks over and insists that Spark will be fine, as if he is still refusing to accept the reality that Spark may need to be put down. That night, alone with his thoughts, Benjamin opens his laptop and looks at a folder filled with memories of his wife. But after seeing just one photo, he cannot continue. His love for her is still too strong, and he is not yet ready to let go. The next day, the entire zoo staff panics as Spark's condition continues to worsen. He no longer moves from the rock where he lies. Worried, Benjamin tries to use himself as bait to make Spark move. But Robin tells him that it is time to let Spark go. Benjamin refuses, still believing that Spark can recover. When everyone runs out of ideas, Lily suggests making loud noises, believing that big cats hate loud sounds. They try, but nothing works. Overwhelmed, Benjamin walks away in distress. Kelly follows him and confronts him, saying that keeping Spark alive like this is only causing more suffering. She explains that she has been with Spark for 13 years, far longer than Benjamin, and she knows that this is the end. Still, Benjamin refuses to accept it, and the two of them end up in a heated argument. Later that afternoon, while Benjamin is not at home, Kelly comes over to help Dylan and Rosie prepare dinner. Not long after, as Kelly sits alone for a moment, she notices Benjamin arriving home. Exhausted, he reaches for her hand and opens up about how deeply he still loves his late wife. Her loss still weighs heavily on him, and every time he looks at Dylan, who resembles her so much, the pain comes rushing back. After Kelly leaves, Benjamin goes inside and finds Dylan waiting for him. Dylan has overheard everything that was said between his father and Kelly. In that moment, he finally understands why his father has been so angry and distant toward him. The next day, after spending a long time thinking, Dylan goes to find his father at Spark's enclosure. Benjamin stands there quietly watching Spark struggle. In that moment, they share their sadness. For the first time, Benjamin opens up to his son and admits that he no longer knows what to do to save Spark. Dylan also shares his feelings about Lily. Hearing his son speak so honestly brings Benjamin comfort. He offers Dylan a simple piece of advice. He says that when it comes to confessing feelings to someone, all it takes is 20 seconds of courage. For those 20 seconds, fear and embarrassment must be pushed aside, and the truth must be spoken. After that, it is okay to feel nervous again. Benjamin believes that those 20 seconds can change a person's life. After their conversation, Benjamin feels a sense of relief. He finally feels ready to let Spark go. Not long after, Spark is gently put to rest. That night, Benjamin gathers the courage to look through old photos of his wife. Since her passing, he has never been able to face those memories. Now, little by little, he begins to accept her absence and reconnect with the moments they once shared. A few days later, everyone becomes busy preparing the zoo for reopening, as Ferris is scheduled to return for another inspection. The next day, Ferris arrives and begins checking every part of the zoo to determine whether it is finally ready to open again. Meanwhile, Kelly is checking the lion enclosure when she suddenly panics after noticing that the gate is damaged. Afraid that Ferris might find out, she quickly calls Peter on the walkie-talkie. Unfortunately, the call is overheard by Benjamin, who is walking with Ferris at the time. Sensing that something is wrong, Ferris asks Benjamin to take him to the lion enclosure. At the same time, Peter rushes to fix the broken gate before Ferris arrives, working under pressure while Solomon lurks dangerously close behind him. After the inspection is complete, everyone at the zoo waits anxiously for the final decision. After careful consideration, the zoo is officially declared fit to open. Relief and joy spread through the entire team. Not long after, rain begins to fall. During that moment, Dylan notices a message from Lily written on the west gate of the zoo. It says that if he loves her, he should let her know. Remembering his father's advice about the 20 seconds of courage, Dylan gathers his strength and goes to find Lily. Pushing past his fear, he finally confesses his feelings. As opening day approaches, Benjamin watches the news one evening and learns that heavy rain is expected to continue for several days. In fact, the summer is predicted to be the wettest in 100 years. When the long-awaited opening day finally arrives, Benjamin wakes up to clear skies and feels hopeful. He gets ready with excitement, but once the gates open, everyone is confused when no visitors appear. Sensing something is wrong, Dylan and the others head toward the entrance to check what is happening. They soon discover that a fallen tree from the night before is blocking the road. Behind it, a large crowd of visitors is already waiting to enter. Seeing this, Benjamin and the entire team feel overwhelmed with happiness. They begin helping the visitors inside, turning the moment into a joyful adventure. Everyone ends up having a wonderful day at the zoo, filled with laughter and excitement. Sometime later, Benjamin takes his children to a restaurant, the same place where he first met their mother. There, he shares the story of how their love began. He explains that he once saw a beautiful woman sitting alone and felt an instant connection. Even though he was nervous and unsure, he remembered the idea of 20 seconds of courage. He stepped forward, introduced himself, and began the moment that changed his life forever. So the moral of the story is sometimes loving your family means carrying pain quietly and choosing their happiness even when your own heart is still broken.